Hey guys, I have a very special piece to show us today. It is the Walter Randolph Mini Persian, and I got this directly from Walter. Um, Actually, it's kind of funny. I just contacted Walter on one day because I saw one of my friends getting a very nice mini Persian in Damascus. And I thought, you know what? The Persian grind is just so incredibly beautiful, very sleek, and I needed to have it in the collection. And Walter, you know, he was quick to reply, and he said, "Yeah, sure. Give me a couple of months, and I'll get something for you. What would you want? What materials do you want? What kind of build do you want? This is the real custom knife experience. When you say the word custom, it means it's custom to the way you want it. And this is exactly, one of the things that I really enjoy about custom knives when you get to work directly with makers to come up with a build. It's just really enjoyable, a very nice process. And when you get something from Walter, or at least the latest version, which is in 2020 as of this video, the the knife comes in a nice small pouch, which comes in this nice, sleeve right here. And yeah, so now let's get into the knife, and I guess some of the decisions that I made, in order to come out with this material combination and build. So basically what I had in mind was I wanted a really light mini Persian because it would be, I guess, not many people or custom makers at this level do tab locks. I guess not many custom makers at this level accept orders in the first place, but when they do, I wanted the lightest knife possible in this size, which this is around, if I remember correctly, 2.7 ounces, and it has a 3.25 inch blade, which is really, really reasonable and light. So it is a tab lock construction, which is Walter's, I guess, most complex. He does the frame lock, liner lock, and the tab lock. And he said that the tab lock was the most difficult to do, or at least for him to get it right. And you can see that it functions beautifully. And I'm really glad I went with a tab lock build. So first of all, let's start with the blade. The blade, and let me take out the background so it focuses on the knife. The blade here is a nice hand-rubbed Talonite blade. Yes, that is a Talonite blade from Walter Randolph. And Walter, I think if I'm not mistaken, he has never ground and finished Talonite before. He has done a few knives with John Barker, where they use Talonite, but usually it's Walter who does the initial construction, and John who finishes and grinds the blade and finishes the blade. So it's the first time that Walter worked on Talonite, and you can see that when you hand rub the Talonite, there's grains on it. So it's not super clean. It's not a steel. Talonite is a really special material that cannot rust, or cannot oxidize, even when you put salt water on it. Usually, when even on a nice stainless steel like RWL 34, if it comes in contact with salt water and you leave it there for a day, you can start to see rusting. But with this, Nope, no rust at all. The downside is, of course, it's less hard than steels, but it is tough. So this type of material, talenite, is best suited for cutting soft objects like meat, for use in the kitchen, but avoid the bones because that can kind of bend the edges of it. But anyways, it is a very very nice talenite blade, which you know really hard to find. Um, and second, when you come to the frame, it is carbo quartz. And now carbo quartz is a mix of carbon fiber and quartz, um, and it gives this really beautiful shimmering effect. And it's on both sides. And I don't know why, um, but for me, carbo quartz is the most attractive type of carbon fiber, especially the black ones with these linear lines. I just think it's absolutely beautiful. However, because it is carbo quartz is not, it is, I guess there's only one or two suppliers for it, and it's kind of difficult to make. So the prices of these things are just as expensive as Mokatai or Damascus. So a sheet of this thing is just as expensive, which is incredible. So, it might not look as dressy, with crazy blue, orange colors and purples, but it is just as beautiful, um, in my opinion. And coming on to the main show, um, I guess showpiece of the knife is the mother of pearl. The pivot and the inlay in the frame are both mother of pearl, which is extremely beautiful, and it has this glowing colors as you shift it around the light. There's the blues, green, yellows. I really like the black and white build, but there is something about this which makes it kind of like organic and glowing. And this goes really well with the knife, in my opinion, because Walter's knives have these organic flows. They're very round shaped, and if you've never handled one, I have to say one of the standout features on Walter's knives compared to others is that his contouring is some of the best. It just feels so soft, so round. Um, you know, even in the titanium version, and I've had quite a few titanium versions from Walter, and they all feel the same. Um, so he is, one of the best when it comes to contouring and making a knife feel really nice in the hand, really comfortable, no hot spots at all. I think it's one of the most comfortable knives, to hold in hand. And if perhaps you've tried a Gary McGinnis, and Jerry McGinnis also does excellent contouring on his knives. This is, also one of the best. Now, the pivot. The pivot is done with zirconium on both sides and a mother of pearl inlay. And I think for me, this is even more attractive than the main part. I'd rather have this pivot with the black body than the inlay with a regular pivot. It's just so cool the way it's shaped, and if you look closely, there's no gaps at all anywhere. Walter builds this thing using manual machines. He does not have any smart machining at his shop, and the fitment on all of his knives is basically perfect. I mean, there's no gap whatsoever. The only thing that you can feel is the difference between the texture of the mother of pearl compared to the more slick carbon fiber. Um, Same goes for the pivot. It's just incredible how he did this. And these days there's a lot of very nice high-end production knives, but you know, when I handle those versus Walter Randolph, I can definitely say or tell the difference right away that this is a much higher quality piece of engineering. It has a lot more finishing, more time put into it, into the contouring, making everything so soft and smooth, and the action is just it. I flipped it open a few times, but this is one of the most addicting knives to flip if you like to spend time playing with your knives. This thing rockets out really hard, and it has zero lock stick. It just feels like the blade is not even connected to the lock bar, but it's solid, and it has zero move, no up and down or side to side movement, and it just has absolutely zero stick. And even when you have oil, I don't have that right now, but if you're like careless and you accidentally try to lubricate the pivot, the detent, and it gets into the back of the lock. Usually on knives that don't have perfect geometry, you can start to get lock stick. Even with knives with very good geometry, you can still have lock stick if you have this oil on it. But this thing, I don't know why. You can have oil, no oil, whatever, no lock stick whatsoever. Flips like a rocket. It's just incredible. And a little bit on the closing, when you close the knife, it gets a little, there's like a detent, almost like a detent ramp, but you can just push the blade over when you close it. Perfectly centered. Flips out like a champ. Sounds very nice. Very comfortable. This is the type of knife where if you flip it all day, you'll get zero calluses because the jimping here is just perfect. Just enough to grip your finger, get the knife open, and on the close, this is also really, really well, I guess, contoured or shaped. So the whole knife just feels so soft and comfortable in hand, yet it is solid. You can use it. It's an excellent piece of work. Walter is like a really, really great maker out there, and I think that he deserves all the success, all the popularity is very well deserved because his work just continually gets better. I had held one of his mini Persians in the past, and there were a few flaws, but his newest work now is just absolutely flawless, especially this piece. Check out the pocket clip, really smooth, works well. It's just a great knife, and the feeling of it closing, oh, this is like, it's not a drop shot kind of knife, but it just feels so good when you kind of feel how smooth that is closing. It's just buttery smooth. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video or enjoyed looking at this great piece of work by Walter Randolph. And thank you for watching.